Hello and welcome to Christabel's Revelation. I will be doing a short message audio titled Receiving Your Healing Through Working on Your Purpose. We're going to talk about unfortunate circumstances that can lead to an individual's breakthrough or breakdown, depending on how they go about it, depending if they realize the vows of the enemy. So let's go into the Word of God in Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thy own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. There are some unfortunate circumstances that can happen to someone's life which ends up yielding bad fruits in that individual's life. So we're going to talk about what those circumstances, unfortunate circumstances can be. Unfortunate circumstances can vary. It can vary from maybe growing up in a not so favorable environment. It can be about starting up in life. It can be a circumstance or incident that happened to that person's life to create that atmosphere in which ends up yielding bad fruits in that individual's life. And this individual ends up walking through life in a circle of emotional pain, instability, and stagnation. Let's go to John 10 verse 10. The thief cometh not but for to steal, and to kill, and to destroy. Sometimes the enemy will create this incident. The enemy will create this disaster. The enemy will create this manipulation. Because why? Because as it states, the thief cometh not but for to steal, and to kill, and to destroy. And the earlier that we recognize this, or at some point of our life, we just really have to wake up and recognize the enemy really created this disaster, this plan, this incident to stop the calling, to stop the promises. Because the whole reason is to steal, to kill, to destroy. The whole reason is to stop the word of God of being activated in your life. In Jeremiah 29 verse 11. For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, said the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. The enemy sometimes creates this to stop, to make the word of God a lie, which is not so. So the earlier we recognize this, the better it is. The earlier we recognize this, the better, we come out of this lie, out of this bondage. So first, let's go to the Word of God in Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Now, how do you come out of this bondage? Why do I call this a bondage? I call this a bondage because you cannot truly move forward in life with unresolved issues holding you back. You cannot live the promises of life with the fruits of the enemy bearing in your life. So you have to, come out of this bondage. You have to realize the trick of the enemy and come out of this. You have to kick the enemy out. One thing I know is that the enemy will not leave you till you kick him out. The enemy just doesn't leave someone because they're nice, or because they're a Christian. It doesn't. You have to actually forcefully kick the enemy out before the enemy can leave you. So the first way to come out of this bondage is trusting in the Lord. It's not leaning on your own understanding. It's acknowledging him. Once you acknowledge God, it means you're trusting him. It means you're not leaning on your own understanding. And once you trust God, then that's when God will now lead your path, lead your way. If you do not trust God, then you physically, turning God not to help you. You might not, consciously say that, but your expression of not trusting God is expressing to God that you don't want help, that you don't want God to help you. And then you're, expressing to the devil to keep afflicting you, to keep tormenting you. It's one thing to say, to say something, but it's one thing to actually express it. Our expression is what gives the devil way in our life or give God way in our life. So we have to, be careful with that. So you have to, trust in the Lord and, give everything to Christ. So once you trust in the Lord, what happens when you start trusting in God? What happens is that, you will now, start everything that you're going through, whatever it is you're going through, you pour out your heart to Christ. Why are you pouring out your heart to Christ? The only way that you will pour out your heart to Christ is when you trust God. You let go of everything that does not glorify Christ in your life. Whatever situation it is, or the pain, the circumstance, the incident, the affliction, the bondage, whatever it is, you just, you let it go at the foot of the cross. You trust God by crying out to Him, crying fully out to God. And when you do that, you're now expressing to God that He should come into your life. And then now, God will now come into your life because you've given room for God and not the devil. And once God comes into your life, then now God will start to direct your path. Okay, what happens now when God starts to direct your path? Let's go to Psalms 138, verse 8. The Lord will perfect that which concerns me. As it is written, when God starts to direct your path, God will now perfect everything that concerns you. Whatever the plan of God is, whatever the will of God is for your life, God will perfect that for you. Because you have kicked the devil out of his plan, of his tricks, and trusted in God, and lean to God, and acknowledge God. Now God is now walking through you by directing your path. And now God is now finishing His work by perfecting all that concerns you. And now you receive your healing walking on your purpose. And walking on your purpose, remember, comes in when God starts to direct your path and when God finishes the work by perfecting which concerns you, and that when healing truly manifests in your life. So it is important, to read the Word of God, read the promises of God for your life, trust in God, express to God that you give the expression out for God to come into your life and forcefully kick the devil out. So I hope this message blesses the heart, blesses the soul of someone whosoever is going through, whatever it is that you're going through that has kept you in bondage and stagnation and instability. Kick the devil out and receive your healing through walking on your purpose. Thank you so much, and God bless you.